Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are going to be creating a snowflake picture. But first, we need to talk about symmetry. The word symmetry means the same on both sides. It's like if you folded something in half and it looked like it was the same on both sides. All of these examples are examples of symmetry, like a butterfly. Then there's another word called radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is when something starts from a center point or the middle and then goes around, and it's the same in each slice, kind of like slices of pizza or slices of pie. Again, this is called radial symmetry, when things are the same, starting from a center point and going around in a circle. All of these have radial symmetry. We're going to use radial symmetry today to create some snowflakes. To start, you'll need to begin with a plus. Then you're going to add an X. So here you go. You're going to start with a plus and add an X. Then you have your pie slices. In every pie slice, you need to do the same thing so that you are showing radial symmetry. So anything you do in one slice of pie, you need to do the same in the other slices of pie to create your radial symmetry snowflakes. I want you to begin by practicing. We'll grab a scratch piece of paper from the free draw cart and just practice doing your plus, your X, and then creating the same shapes in each slice of pie. You can create whatever kind of snowflakes that you would like. You could also use a ruler if you have a little tricky time making straight lines. You'll get your rulers from your art cart. Again, whatever you do in one slice of pie, you need to do to every slice of pie to show radial symmetry. I want you to practice at least 3 or 4 snowflakes. 3 or 4. So that you can get the hang of it and figure out what kinds of snowflakes you like the best to draw on your final piece of paper. Get creative. You could use any kind of shapes and lines that you would like. Once you're done with your practice, you'll grab your final page and write your name and your teacher's name on the back. Then, drawing lightly with pencil, you're going to start creating your snowflakes on your final page. Remember, anything you do in one slice of pie, you have to do in the rest. Draw it light until you get it right. Once you are all finished drawing your snowflakes, and by the way, I want you to have 3 snowflakes on your paper, you are then going to use crayon or white oil pastel to go over the top of your pencil lines. If you choose to do white crayon or oil pastel, then what happens when you paint over it in the future with watercolor paints is that the white is going to resist or push away the watercolor paint. And then you'll end up with a snowflake that looks kind of like this. If white is a little bit hard for you to see, you can also use any other color crayon that you would like to go over your pencil lines. Then, when we paint these in next time, you'll notice that the paint is going to go right over the top of the crayon, and you'll still be able to see those lines. You do want to press a little bit hard with the crayon so that it really works well when we go over the top with paint. You get to choose whatever colors that you would like for each of your snowflakes. We are going to be using watercolor paints today to paint on top of our crayon. When you use crayon or oil pastel and then paint on top of it, you'll notice that the crayon or the oil pastel is going to push away the paint so that you still see those lines that you drew. This is called resist. Resist means to push away. So, you can paint right over the top of your crayon or your oil pastel with your watercolors. We're using metallic watercolor paints, so you'll see that they are a little bit shiny. If you want purple, you'll need to use the paint that is in the cup. Dip and swipe your brush on the side of the cup. Then, when your paint is still wet, you're going to take a little pinch of salt and sprinkle your salt over the top of your wet watercolors. This won't work unless it is wet. You need to make sure your paint is still wet and sprinkle your salt. Then you'll see that as your paint dries, the salt is going to make kind of salt crystals in your background. When you're all finished, you're going to close your paints and your salt lid, and then you'll bring your water cup back to the sink, and your paintbrush will go in the wash brush bucket.